one of my favourite events that we deliver from House of PMO is the PMOLearn event.
Is that right? And why is that, Eileen?
Well, it's because we have so many people in the room, and I know we have a lot of people in the conference, but the energy is there, and we have some great people who come along and help people learn. And this thing about the difference between the conference and PMOLearn, because they learn at the conference,
They do,
but it's a different type of learn at the. I think we try and to me the conference is about kind of managing. The conference is about knowledge management, about kind of sharing things that we've learned and helping other people see things in a particular way. The PMOLearn event is specifically helping people to increase their learning in some very specific topics that we kind of obviously decide before the event. And we're always happy to kind of take some suggestions of what they might be, but they're typically areas where we recognise that there may be a course out there, but people aren't quite sure whether they want to sign up for 2 days or 3 days on a specific subject, or they might just want to increase their knowledge by a small amount so they can make a more informed choice in terms of where their L&D activities might be. I think the other thing that, because of the way we seat people in PMOLearn and cabaret style, kind of 8 to 10 people around the table, they have some really good conversations about, you know, kind of who they speak to and about the subject area. And it gives them an opportunity to really explore the subject area in their context, but also listen to how that plays out in other organisations. And one of the great things about kind of coming as a team, you've now got some choices. So you can either all sit at the table and kind of work out together, or, which I always think is a bit more interesting, is actually sit at 4 different tables. Because now you've got some shared experiences with about 30 or 40 people.
I'll tell you one of the reasons why I think we decided to have this concept of PMOLearn is that we've been running the conferences for a number of years, and we thought, you know, for some people that want to get out and about is to actually, you know, come to the conference but have something else to do, maybe the day before or the day after.
Make the trip worthwhile.
Well, yeah, and then we only ever seem to do things that please us, which is not a bad thing, by the way. But I think we went with it because it's something you'd want to go to yourself. And to be fair, we do. I certainly do, because I'm not a trainer or in any way, shape or form. So I've become one of the delegates on that day. And it is exactly the kind of event that I want to go to. Because if you think about all the things that PMO people should know, not necessarily in depth, but know of or know enough about.
Have an understanding of.
Yeah. And you'll get that because the whole idea and the concept of PMOLearn is that you have 4 classes in the day, so 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. And it is like being on a training course in that you've got some lecture, the trainer's taking you through some materials, and then you've got the practical exercise. So you do that 4 times throughout the day. But the beauty of it is that the subject will change, obviously, from theme to theme. So that's quite nice in that it keeps you fresh. You know, it's
a mixture of technical things, but also we cover the soft skills. And as we know, a lot of organisations seem to be a bit more loath to pay for some of those kind of soft skills training. So it really is an opportunity to add in some kind of soft skills.
You make a good point. You make a good point, because looking at some of the trends at the moment around the training industry is exactly that, is that from the workforce, or from the organisation, they really do need to offer more soft skill or emotional intelligence related type, whether it be training or, you know, or workshops or whatever it might be. But like you say, organisations will not necessarily pay for somebody to go on a 3-day course around facilitation skills, you know. But actually, a lot of the softer skills stuff, I think, is this onus on you to, okay, I've got a taste for that. And there are resources out there that allow you, to do more. So you can do reading. You can go and read around the subject. You can come along to sessions at House of PMO where we might be touching on some of those softer things, or even, you build a business case for, actually, I had a taste of this. I think there's something in it certainly around things like facilitation skills. Could I get funding to go on to have that bigger investment? And ultimately it is good fun, and I think certainly after the last few years to be back in a room. In a classroom,
well, it is a classroom. It's just massive. I just got quite emotional. If you remember the first time we did it after lockdown, just to have all of those people face to face was amazing.
Yeah, because again, unfortunately, a lot of training courses that people attend today are still virtual. So there is that opportunity to obviously be in there is a different way of learning. Yes. I think when there's other people like there in front of you, bounce ideas off and to have fun with, and to eat biscuits and sweets with, and all of that kind of thing. But I think with the with the PMOLearn event, it's just a big classroom, because there's we're not talking like 12 delegates, we're talking like up to 100 people, all on individual tables, and each with a kind of a facilitator, because obviously a trainer can
do so much.
Yeah. So there's facilitation on each table as well. So it's making sure that people are getting the most out of the stuff that they're learning about.
What I find really interesting, and again that I think is very much from a PMOLearn perspective, is even though there's 100 people there, as somebody who has ran a couple of the session and compares the day, it feels much more intimate, because there is a planned interaction between kind of the presenters and the people in the room. The conference tends to be a one-way, somebody at the front is kind of talking. PMOLearn is absolutely interaction all day throughout the day. So that kind of conversation around the subject areas is really good.
People, might be listening to this and thinking, that sounds people and people I don't know, and networking and things like that. You've got to remember that they're PMO people, and PMO people are nice. This is
they're all people like us.
Yeah, they're all in the same boat. And I think thinking back to one of the last PMOLearn sessions that I was sat in from the table wise, is that we at one point there was part of the exercise. It was it's to do with coaching conversations.
Yes.
And it meant delving a little deeper into some kind of things that might be a little bit on the not personal side, but I think you kind of know where you might go with a thing like that. And we were all just like, this is really icky. But we made it into a bit of a, come on, let's have some fun with this, because by this point we'd known each other for three-quarters of a day. So we were all best mates, so we could have a bit of fun. But that's, again, is what PMO people tend to be like. It's if you're going to come along to something like this, we know that you're going to throw yourself right into it and enjoy it, because that's the nature of what PMO people are like, in my experience.
And I think all of that really explains our new, dare we call it, a strategy around PMOLearn. Yes. We've done some thinking. Yeah. So for those of you who've been to our conferences before, you'll know that we have PMOLearn on the first day and conference on day 2. And then PMO, fortunately, last year in 2012, earlier this year, I'm still kind of not quite realised how long this year's been.
In 2022?
But in 2022, in June, we had a conference in London and in Edinburgh, and we used the same PMOLearn day, and very much a kind of similar kind of conference agenda as well. And then what we decided, well, actually, there's a number of people who might enjoy the PMOLearn day who perhaps couldn't come to London or Edinburgh. And so we decided to take that PMOLearn day and to run it again. So we decided we're going to run that in Birmingham, just as a one-day event, as a one-day learning event. We've got the lovely old Birmingham Library to run it in. So again, interesting in terms of kind of there with the whole learning, and gives us, again, some other kind of themes to play with on the day.
So you were being creative there. Definitely.
So we're going to run that in PMOLearn in Birmingham. Now, so that leaves us with a conference in June, and again we're going to go through the same format, where on the 14th of June we'll have PMOLearn, and on the 15th of June we'll have the conference. The PMOLearn that we run on the 14th of June, we will then run again as a standalone event in another part of the UK. So it doesn't necessarily need to be Birmingham, it may be Bristol, it may be Manchester, where you have those thoughts.
Give us your votes for where you'd like to see it.
And then the conference in Edinburgh, which is the 1st and 2nd of November, the PMOLearn that we do on the 1st of November will be different from the one we had in June. But again, that one we run on the 1st of November, we'll probably run somewhere in England because we've run it in Scotland.
Yeah.
So we're trying just to kind of give more people the opportunity to do that Learn Day. It's certainly kind of feasible for us. There's less kind of people in stands involved and everything.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make the most and give more people the opportunity to do face-to-face events, because people keep asking us at the House of PMO, can we have more face-to-face events? So this looked like a really good opportunity to really kind of build on what we've got, build on what we know is of value to our members, and even to those people who are non-members but kind of are interested in what we do in the House of PMO. So they're all going to be on sale. So
PMO, it's quite a cost-effective way to do some learning together as a PMO team. But again, many people come as individuals as well, so you've got that option there. It's happening in Birmingham on the 23rd of March. And the sessions that we're running there are the same ones that we ran in June 2022 in London.
Can you remember what they are?
I can remember what they are because
I've written them down just in case.
So Eileen, you kicked off that day, and it was about facilitation skills.
It was, yes.
Wasn't it? So a nice one to ease you in, because of course you'll be using some of those facilitation skills throughout the day. See, we're always thinking. We went at a session on something that's been asked for loads of times and went down really well, which is about metrics and measures. And I know there's a lot of people out there who struggle with what are the best metrics and measures for your projects, your programs, your portfolio, your PMOs. So that was a really nice session.
And it's been delivered by John McIntyre. So for those of you who know John, will already know that that's a very lively session.
Yes, yeah. And then we had a session on value streams. So for you Agilists or ones that are trying to get your head around the whole, agile enterprise level
product
agile
development.
Stuff. Yeah, all of that kind of thing. We had a really... to be fair for me, I loved that session. It was a really practical one. Everybody really got involved in it. Lots of drawing on flip charts and all that lovely stuff. But really made that subject. I'd been hearing a lot about value streams and not quite sure what it was all about, and it really helped me, understand that. So that was a nice
session
one.
Is by John Ward.
It is by John Ward,
who is a really experienced agile practitioner who's working with some large corporates, actually embedding that in their organisation. So not only does he have some kind of real practical suggestions that can help, he's got some real life experience and some examples that he can talk through in terms of how he's overcome some of the issues with that. So that's really helpful as well.
Yeah. And then finally is that one that I was just talking about, which was coaching conversations, and that one's with Rachel Jenkins. And Rachel brought a lot of a real life practical experience from leading PMOs in the NHS. She's also an experienced trainer as well, so we were looking in that respect. But that's the one again that is one of those softer skill type things where we know that PMO people have to be coaching.
Top of the game.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And again, is a real example of for that kind of sessions. Is obviously there's a practical side of it, and getting to try some stuff out on a bunch of people that you've been spending all day with and having great fun with. So it's a really nice session. So we're really looking forward to bringing that to Birmingham. So please make sure you check it out. Have a think about coming along with your team, or you'd be very welcome. As an individual, you certainly won't be feeling left out. You'll be warmly embraced by the many PMO people in the room. So of course, it's always a networking opportunity as well, isn't it? And I'm particularly looking forward to the fact that it's near the custard factory.
Indeed, in Birmingham. And if you've got any suggestions about where you think we could run PMOLearn from the conferences, so we've got 2 further PMOLearn events that we want to schedule. We've not firmed up on the location yet, so we're open to suggestions. So if you think there's a big glut of PMO people who would come to a venue near you, do let us know.
Yeah, great. All right, so that's all there needs to be said about PMOLearn for now.
See you there.
See you there. Take care.